New U.S. Secretary of Defense Ash Carter said Saturday that success is more important than timing in any attempt to retake Iraq's second city, Mosul, from ISIS militants. Carter spoke on his way to Afghanistan, where he is meeting Afghan leaders and U.S. troops in his first week in the post, having taken over as Secretary of Defense from Chuck Hagel. Any operation to take Mosul will be Iraqi-led and U.S. supported, he said. It's important that it be launched at a time when it can succeed, and so I think the important thing is that it get done when it can be done successfully. Even if I knew exactly when that was going to be, I wouldn't tell you, he said. Of course I'm open. I'm always open to advice from our military commanders about what the best way to achieve success island, and that is a question that will come down the road. But I think what's important is that the campaign to retake Mosul succeed, and we're committed to that success and not to a particular timetable. Months after Iraqi troops dropped their weapons and ran for their lives in Mosul, up to 25,000 are expected to head back there in April or May to try to retake the city from ISIS, according to a U.S. official. And Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi told the BBC this week that while there's still work to do, he is sure the Iraqis are going to retake the crucial northern city. We are now planning an offensive on Mosul in the coming few months, the Prime Minister said. We have to prepare for it carefully because the only choice we have in Mosul is to win. We have to win in Mosul to keep ISIS out. Is the Iraqi army ready for the fight? The big, unanswered question is whether that victory is possible. Mosul has been a symbol of Iraqi military incompetence, given how troops and police ran from their posts as ISIS militants arrived in June. Since then, there has been the start of airstrikes by the United States and international allies against ISIS. The Iraqi military has also had fresh training, some of it conducted by U.S. and allied forces, to make it more effective. It has had some success in curbing the ISIS onslaught, but not in taking back a lot of territory, much less that its value as Mosul. New footage released by ISIS on Friday gave another insight into the challenge facing the Iraqi army and its allies. The video, apparently of an attack on an Iraqi military outpost in western Anbar province, showed dozens of seized American-made .6 assault rifles and piles of Alaska 47s, as well as armored personnel carriers and Humvee. All these are now in the hands of ISIS militants who appear to have overrun the outpost, some 60 miles northwest of Baghdad. The video also showed several dead Iraqi soldiers, with one of the bodies burning. Precise details of the daylight attack are not yet available, but there does not appear to be any air support for the beleaguered Iraqi forces from the U.S.-led coalition aircraft that have been carrying out multiple strikes on ISIS militants elsewhere in Iraq and northern Syria. Although this latest incident was only small, ISIS forces have steadily acquired large quantities of U.S. weaponry as a result of seizing Iraqi army equipment provided by the United States, particularly in Mosul. There, the fleeing troops left behind hundreds of Humvees, heavy artillery and lots of ammunition. Up until now, one of the biggest and most successful forces has been the Kurdish Peshmerga that serve Iraq's Emir-autonomous Kurdish government, often at odds with Baghdad. These fighters will have a role, including around Mosul. In his BBC interview, al-Abadi said that liaisons between Iraqi forces and the Peshmerga must be powerful and must be watertight to defeat ISIS. According to the U.S. Central Command official, who spoke to reporters Thursday, Mosul police and tribal forces would likely join Iraqi troops in the assault on the city. Peshmerga would play a supporting role, not going into Mosul but instead blocking off supply and escape routes north and west of the city. The hope is for an operation in April or May to avoid running into Ramadan mid-June through mid-July and Iraq's summer heat, the CENTCOM official said. The final decision has not yet been made, though. Count Firouz Barzani, the senior Peshmerga commander, is among the skeptics that such a spring assault would work. I don't think it's realistic, and I don't have any idea about a plan, Barzani told CNN's Ben Waydeman. "And if it involves the Iraqi army only, it's not going to work. The Iraqi army is not ready for the fight." General James Spider Marks told CNN he believed it had been a mistake to reveal the potential timing of the Mosul operation and that it could put U.S. forces at risk. "This is a terribly unfortunate lack of professionalism, in almost the relaxed approach towards a challenge that we have been trying to get our arms around for almost a year," he said.